Can't hear you either.
That should have been done a long time ago,
There you go.
turning it over.
Fair enough.
All right, so someone just sent a message. I don't see the chat though that well. Someone wants to respond. The other Paul H can respond. Yeah. Signer, you're all right? It's not working? Good. You're silent? All right. Okay, well, I have about 8 minutes of announcements. Yes. Yes. We missed the Zen Bitch slap meeting. The committee that runs Zen Bitch Slap, they met yesterday. There was no notes or any kind of messages. So, but they did meet, yeah. They haven't decided to meet again, so. Is anyone else? So let's see. Oh, by the way, this is, next week we won't be here for the rest of the month. Yeah. So, yeah, some people may have interpreted differently because I don't see that many. But yeah, for the people that are here, trying to see. There you go. Welcome. And yeah. Can you hear me now here? Yes? Yeah, all right. So yeah. So the message is simple. You're never going to get it. Yeah. Just give up the ghost now. Yeah. Instead of using this moment to find yourself. Just yeah, so it worked with me. Yeah, I had a logic that anything or everything I met conformed to that logic. The logic was there was a Paul, and then from there on, maybe that Paul wanted to get out of Paul, or Paul wanted to get into the truth. Paul wanted to realize, Paul wanted to wake up, Paul wanted enlightenment. All of these things, they were always associated with this Paul. Every topic you could look at always had the same looker of the topic. And so finally, non-duality was met, and its direction and its whole presentation was so novel to this head that it was like a wrench that just gummed up the works. It was beautiful. And that stream of the head would be put on pause, and there would just be a giant gap, and just nothing to get, no movement necessary. I don't know what. It was just, we call it a pause in recovery, PAUSE. It was finally pausing all the activity that was going on after the fact, and then just being that fact. So it was clear that the direction of non-duality was a negative type of a direction. It's not an affirmation, because it believes we are that which we could try to affirm. It already says we are that. Yeah, so there's no need to affirm what is. There needs to be a negation of what's not, really, especially when what's not is taken to be what is. So that's the message. And after that, if you want to get great, far out. If you want to have peace of mind, and you figure if I follow the breath 300 rotations, I feel a lot more chilled out. Great. Yeah, far out. But the point is, the idea that you're going to be there to get it, it's impossible. You're not built for it. Yeah. It's above our pay scale. This is what there's an admittance of. And so on one level, if you're driven to arrive somewhere when it seems like that opportunity is taken away is a bummer. But when it's explained as you have never left that which you want to arrive, it's like a hallelujah. But the thing that first hears it, as the hearer of it, gets bummed out, obviously. Yeah. I wanted to be a shiny, special. It's just like when we used to talk about surrender. You know, my picture of surrender was standing on a cliff near the ocean with a nice wind blowing my hair. And I'd have previous girlfriends and contemporary girlfriends and future girlfriends just being in awe of my willingness to surrender and give it up. Yes. I mean, now what in AA, they said, basically go home and do an inventory, you know, write down some of the manifestations of self that has defeated you and tell the truth about your role in things. What? That didn't look like the Hollywood version of surrender to me. Yeah. But that's the great news, because you're not included in this. No one's asking for your help. You're not really needed. You're not essential. Yeah. What we're taking ourselves to be is an afterthought, really. It's an interpretation of a living event. Yeah. Now, if it's like we say, you know, the living event is that party that you hear it's really great, but when the interpretation shows up, it sucks. Yeah. Because the interpretation can't give up the interpretation to enjoy the living party. It's all interpretation. There isn't a self. There isn't a long-lasting, independent, separate entity. There isn't. There isn't a thing that's separated from the infinite no-thingness. Yeah. It just isn't. Yeah. So this is why we use the term dog shit awareness and all these things, because the head likes shiny objects. It does. Yeah. If you could promise it a peak experience, it'll do quite a lot. Yeah. But, and if you had a thing, hey, do you want to sign up to become your authentic whatever? A lot of people would sign up to become, but when you bring a message you already are, there's very little interest in that message. Because it doesn't have much of you in it. It says you already are that which you want to arrive at. Yeah. And so it's the you that really demands the idea of arrival. Yeah. Because the you would be shown to be imaginary if it allowed on having never left to have some play. Yes. If you took away all of the meaning that it garners from doing this and doing that, or swearing off and not doing this and not doing that. Yeah. There's no interest in it. There's no interest in being what you are. There's a lot of interest in becoming what you are, but there's very little interest in being what you are, obviously. It's just obvious. Yeah. I've had people come and, man, they were experiential junkies. There wasn't a junkie. There was an addictive nature of their, of the running towards experience. And as soon as they got a smell of the real message, they were gone the next week, going to another peak experiential event. Yeah. This is not about any of that. It's about a fact becoming a fact here. Yeah. And what's needed for that to become obvious is a negation of the assumed fact. Yeah. And the negation of the assumed fact isn't just about a part of what you're not, it's all of what you're not. Yeah. There's not one bit of what you're not that's necessary for it to be what you are. There's not one bit. Yeah. So I hope whatever you do fails you, because that will be its value. I hope every time you try to sharpen your sword and increase the footage of your telescope, how far it can see into the vast void, I hope it all fails you. So you're left with your own devices and you finally realize they're not your devices. Yes. you're not going to probably have that realization if you're using those devices to grab things, to try to understand, to get, to experience. It's once they stop and you see them moving around and there's no volition or choice involved in it, it's just mechanical. It has a big impact. Yeah. To the point you may never spend another second looking for what can't be found. You may find out from that point on, you lose so much interest, you're not even remembering from that point on. Yeah. You don't even remember you've lost all interest in seeking. Yeah, you know, it just falls away. Yeah, it's not like you swore off. It just, that would seem to be essential was seen to be fraudulent. Yeah. Yeah. So this is the, and there's, you know, for the action figure here, it's about 106 degrees in Novato, California. Yesterday we had 112. It was probably the hottest day we've ever had here. I mean, it's cooking, you're baking, and it ain't gonna help if you chant you're not a body. It's not going to take away one drop of sweat that's going to fall off. It's probably going to make it more uncomfortable. Yeah, so I hope this relaxation catches, you know. It's better than 50 Thai massages. It really is. It's a different kind of relief. It doesn't have an opposite. It's a relief. Yeah. From that relief that has an opposite. It's a relief from that. Yeah. It's a relief from the need to be liberated. It's relief from that. It's relief from the drive to get it or understand it. You realize you can't understand it. It's impossible. Yes? In this case, everything that's poured in our glass, yeah, is given the meaning from the glass. Yeah. We never drink what's poured in the glass. We drink the meaning that the glass gave it. Yes. As long as there's the glass, there's going to give the meaning. Yeah. If you see not the glass, you'll see the glass giving it meaning. It won't be a big deal. It doesn't have to stop. You don't have to kill it. You don't have to, you know, bend the Nile to go in a different direction. None of that. There's just a truth telling. Yeah. There's a lot of thoughts running around. Okay. Are they yours? No. I think the playground's big enough for thoughts to run around. No, those thoughts are ruining my day. No, they're not. It's the sense of my, yeah. So yeah, nice to see you, Signer. You have your voice back? Yes? No? Oh, so I can choose whoever I want to share? Wow. Let's see. I'm going to negate most of you. So let's say no questions from Stuart. Paul H, never forget that. Kerry, zip it. I like to hear from George because I love to see him break his vow of silence. There's Matthew. Yeah, I'll give Matthew an opportunity. Donna never did anything bad to me. Go ahead. Yeah, Donna can speak. Andy Walker, it would be hazardous to Andy's future health for sure. No asking of any questions. Let's say Susan K. Yeah, she's bought me enough lattes. Yeah, she can have a question or two. Anyone else? Yeah. And Sina, yeah, enjoy your silence. I am, so enjoy it. Yeah. Anybody have a question? How about Jed? Jed?
Good
No?
afternoon. It's nice to
Oh,
see
nice to
Paul.
see you. Nice to see you.
Tell me, if life is but a dream, what dream am I having? Which stream am I rowing my boat in, and is it upstream or down? And where the hell did that poem come from anyway? Thank you.
That's a very nice one, right? Yes. Well, I truly believe it captures it, but we're not having a dream. We are the dreaming. Yes. It's different. We are that which we think we're in. We are that which is dreaming all this, but that which is dreaming can't be seen or dreamt. Yes.
Isn't
But
that delusion? That's delusional.
that's lovely. Eh? Everything is delusional. If you can see it, hear it, face it, taste it, touch it, it's not so. Yeah. Whatever can be known can't be the knowing. Yes. Whatever can be perceived can't be that which is perceiving. So can you perceive that which is perceiving? No. Yeah. But can you can the perceiving see the perceived? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. But the perceived cannot be perceiving. So I see Jed. Jed sees Paul. We're both off the game board. Yes.
Oh,
So Jed would be the only one who would be concerned about which way it's going, up or down the stream. The stream won't be. So there you go. If you're not Jed, you'll travel any which way the stream wants to go, a little lighter. Jed is Jed thinks it's the boat. It's actually yeah. Yeah. So let's describe what we can describe. Yeah. What is it like to be Jed? Yeah. What is it like to be Paul? What are thoughts like? What are feelings like? All these things can be known. Yes. But that which is knowing it can't. So when do we realize we've touched the ceiling of our pay scale and just, yeah.
well, if every thought is ascribed to an emotion, isn't that how that pairing isn't that how we catalog our thinking and organize it?
I don't think we do anything. The brain may categorize it and stuff like that, but I won't say I don't think we're the brain.
Well, if I lost my mind, how would I know?
Well, you already have. Yeah, you've already lost your mind. How would you know? The only way you would know you lost your mind would be late. You would be late to the game, so to speak. Yes. The only way you could lose what you call mind is if it was objectified. Yes. And then what would be represented by the you that lost its mind? The subject. Yes. So the subject would be reporting that it's lost the mind, which is an objectification. What is that but duality? What is the message of non-duality? A negation of that.
Thank you.
That's what's valuable. It's the moment to moment negation, not the giant thesis on negation, but to see the movement of it. Yeah. And to see what the negation is about. Just what's being negated is the idea of subject object. Yes. So instead of the emphasis in being the seer and the seen, it's on the seeing. Yeah. So let's say the seeing is awareness, or even let's use vision, seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, touching. The emphasis, after it's removed from the seer seen, the hearer, the heard, the feeler, the felt, then there's more feeling, hearing, seeing, tasting. Now there's an aliveness, not an interpretation. Yeah. And that aliveness gives you a sense of presence in a way. You're on now, not the story that you were on and you're gonna be more on, or a moron, but more now on. Yes. To me, that's the presence. That's the traveling lighter.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, Paul.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Sina wants to try again.
Who?
Sina.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
You can hear me now?
Yes.
Woohoo! Okay.
That doesn't mean you're taking over, Sina. You've been reassigned.
That is adorable. I'm gonna
You've
label
been
it.
reassigned somewhere.
I'm gonna label this video reassigna.
You've been reassigned.
Thank you, Paul. Matthew
welcome.
has his hand up.
All right, Matthew.
Hey, Paul, so where you mentioned that the action figure was sweating up in Novato at 112 degrees. And at the same time, we talk about, traveling lighter. So how did your awareness that you're not the action figure help you travel lighter through that temporary, sweaty, uncomfortable experience?
Well, it's not temporary. It's temporary. It's happening now. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But the experience is happening with not much thought about it.
So it's that we stay present, we're experiencing, we're verbing it, we're sweating, but we're not projected into the future. Oh, it's always going to be, I'm always going to suffer like that. And we just sort of stay in the being, in the moment.
Well, it's not like there's anyone doing it, but the interest and attention has shifted, that there's more interest here about what's happening before the thoughts than what happens after the thoughts. Yeah. It's that simple. Now, what happens after the thoughts usually has a story that there's Paul either doing or not doing something. What's happening before the thoughts, it's clear there is no Paul. Yes. So therefore, they're sweating. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's the life is less encumbered by the interpretation. Yeah.
Got it.
Why? Because, and it's not that the interpretation's not being offered, there's been a loss of interest in it. And you can't lose interest in it as the interpretation.
Got it.
So trying to weaken this idea that we're that and we are doing everything, we're just trying to constantly keep weakening that so that the interest that's been wedded to that interpretation can be freed and sort of enrich your day, sweaty or not. Yeah.
Yep.
Not with like volumes of thought, but just an absence of a lot, It's sort of like, it's all emphasis. There can be 40 points in the space, and you could be drawn to each and every one of those points and not see the space, let's say. Or there can be being drawn to space and then noticing the thoughts, but in the context of space. It's all emphasis, yes? So interest and attention is almost the the moving of a camera going from one aperture to another. So self-centeredness, if we're living an interpretation from that, it's almost like the basic aperture's locked in, and then there's myopic magnification and like this, yes? But for all that to have so much meaning, the panoramic has to not be noticed, you know? So all you see is the 40 dots. You don't see the space that's there, a context, there a content in, yeah? And this, when the interest and attention moves, then there seems to be more interest in that context than the content, because you know the content's constantly shifting and going in and out and getting bigger and smaller, but the space remains the same, like that song. The song remains the same, yeah? So after a while, there's more value in that which doesn't come and go than all the coming and going.
Mhm.
And so the thoughts are mostly about coming and going. Here doesn't need much thought, yeah? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's hard to, I just heard this message and I got a flavor of it just makes so much sense really now, because I would hear those statements of this whatever is indescribable, incomprehensible, whatever. And then why would we try to keep describing from something that's easily describable and very easily comprehended? Yeah, what we're not. So why not, instead of having the wanting to describe something coming from something that can be described and being directed at the indescribable, let's just turn it around and let's direct it at the describable. And maybe you'll see you're not that. I mean, seriously, because it's not working by seeing you conceptually saying you are that which you're looking for, but you don't see anything. It's all concept, yeah? You can't do indescribable justice in a conceptual manner. You just can't do it because it's indescribable. It's incomprehensible. So to try to comprehend it, it's sort of like, you know, what would a 12-ounce glass think the size of the universe was? 12 ounces. You know what I mean? It applies its own understanding to everything else, and its own understanding is bogus. It's limited. It's failed. Yeah. So you come to these conclusions, and you are playing the role of propping these things up. And when the interest and attention, that the house collapses because doesn't have its own foundation. We're holding it all up. It's sort of like we keep blowing air into this blow up doll. Yeah. And the doll has holes. The air is naturally trying to leave and we keep blowing it up again, over and over again. Yeah. So to me, non-duality puts a stop to a lot of that. That drive to seek and everything usually comes under some kind of a review. Yeah. And then hopefully there's a convincing that this is futile, like escape is futile, not in a bad way, but in a hallelujah revelatory way. Wait a minute. You mean I've never left? Yeah, on having never left. Like Ramana said, on being ourselves reality, it makes reality, wanting to attain reality, the greatest fucking mystery. Why would that ever happen based on the fact that being ourselves reality? Well, here you go. That's dreaming, yeah? What's fueling it all? Interest and attention, I feel. Does next week have the ability to affect you? Obviously not. Not now. You can't, I didn't want to see that. Great. You didn't. It's next week, you know? I didn't want to feel that. Great. You didn't. It's next week. Yes. So these things are, we're bringing all this stuff up, not as Matthew and Paul, but I mean, as this activity, yeah, we're the dreaming. So we can make shit out of nothing. We can make mountains out of molehills, and then we can shrink mountains to appear as molehills, yeah? But one thing we can't do is change the basic fact of this awakeness, yeah? This onness that we are of, like it or not. Yeah. So it's like giving up the ghost. It's like, what happens after surrender? Surrendered. Yeah. So in time, you're now surrendered to the fact that you're never going to get it. Yeah. That you're looking for it is the blindness to it. Yeah. I mean, these warnings that are in non-duality landed. Yeah. And so you've given up the ghost, really. You're not spending time using what you are to look for what you are. Yeah. It's done. That stuff's done. It's worked. Yeah. The warnings worked. Yes. So here we are just passing the same stuff on. Yeah. I'm not interested in arrival. I am not. Yeah. I'm interested in that we never departed. That's novel. Yes. That's like can knock down a forest in one fell swoop. It's very clean, surgical. The reason why you can't arrive is because you've never left. Wow, that's mind-boggling. Yeah. I never would have thought of that. I was so sure I was somewhere that I wanted to get out of. Yeah. 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 So I understand, you know, the hearer of the message is the action figure, and the action figure can only translate the message in its language, which is, I gotta be doing something subtly at least, or yeah. Yes, it always writes itself in. It may not be, it usually likes to use a very dark ink. Now it's maybe using a lighter ink, but it still wants to write itself into the story. Yeah. I have to concede or do something to allow this to be. No, it is. Yeah. Yeah. Your huffing and puffing hasn't changed or will ever change anything. Truly. Yeah. Hallelujah for me. It's all based on where you're hearing it from. Yeah. The old story with the skin of the snake and the snake. Yeah. To the skin of the snake, which believes the skin is the whole of the snake, is threatened by the molting of the skin that happens every year to the snake. And because it can jack into the snake brain, it sends up a lot of fucking alarms. Yeah. And flares to warn itself, which it isn't, to warn the snake that this is going to be Armageddon if the skin falls off, because it's the whole of the snake, which isn't true, is it? Yeah. So let's say there's an identification with the skin. So that's what you're hearing first and the loudest. Yeah. Is the skin's point of view. This is Armageddon. We have to do everything or anything to stop this. Yet, if you could hear from the snake's point of view, it's hallelujah. Yeah. So in this little example, the what we're not, the activity of selfing would be the skins, talking as if it's the whole snake. And then the unsuspected inner resource is the snake that we may not be aware of. Yeah. We are taking ourselves to be a snake, but it's only the skin. Yeah. We're something much different than that. So of course, we're going to hear that voice first, and it's going to be loud and it's going to be screaming. But then again, there's that echo of what we are of, that context that leaves a mark if you can just hear it. Yeah. It only takes a little more interest to move away from the skin to realize the molting of the skin is going to be great for the rest of the snake. Yes. Yeah. It's the same experience is going to happen, but there's an interpretation of it from a mental condition. And then there's really not an interpretation. It's like jumping into water. It's not a stairway of thoughts and then you jump in. It's just jumping into water. You're alive. Yeah. Yeah. So I believe from looking at it that it's a migration of interest that can't be directed or led by the selfing. Yes. The act of being identified as what you're not can't lose interest in the act of being identified as what you're not. It just doesn't work that way. So there's a loss of interest when you hear the message from what you are. Yes. And then from what you are, there's the negation of what you're not, very cleanly. Yeah. Negation doesn't mean it's erased or anything. It's seen as an activity, not as a thing. Yes? The idea of being the thinker is seen as a thought, not as the thinker of thoughts. Yes? Yeah. And I feel it can be quite freeing to the point you'll stop trying to get out of here. And maybe you'll observe from this action figure that it's traveling lighter in spite of itself. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what would happen if you got a message that you were on a ride? Yeah. You're on a ride. You thought it was real, a life. Now, and so the ride continues, but you've heard a message that it's just a ride. It's not real. Yes. I would imagine you would have a lighter experience as you rode the rest of the ride than you would if you were taking the ride to be real. Yes. Does the ride stop? No, it doesn't. Yeah. Does it produce effects on the action figure? Yes, it does. But in this case, the action figure is actually the ride. Yeah. It's the ride. It seemingly started and it's going to end, isn't it? Yes. And it's going to have an end tonight when there's sleep, when you rest without you resting. Yes. You'll have some rest from a you. Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever had dogs in your life, Matthew?
Yeah, yes, Paul.
So I've had dogs, but now the only dog I've actually ever had is the one I'm having now.
Right.
There's not even close. But there's a story. I had dogs before, but that it's completely empty because there's a dog now. Yeah. And that dog now that seems so real is going to be a story. Yeah. If I can outlive it, so to speak. Yes.
Yes.
The story will never do justice to the living of it. Yes. Never. You can't. It's like a terrible, memory is like a terrible camera. It just essentially leaves out all the pulse of everything and you get a certain image of something. Yes. But when you have, just like when you have illness, yes, there's nothing like it when it's happening. Yeah. There's nothing like it. Your attention and interest goes there. There's a desire to have that interest and attention be pulled away from it. Yeah. But then when you get better, it was like it never happened. It's a very strange thing, eh? Why
Go on.
why doesn't anything leave a lasting impression? Because it isn't.
Right.
Really? Do you work at it? Do you work at denying or only having like a 2% idea of having a dog once? No, it's just the way the systems work. Yeah. Everything sort of falls off a shelf after it's gone.
Yes.
And what's there? The same space that allowed everything else to happen at all times. How do we miss that? When we're missing all these things that have come and gone, how do we miss that which has never come and never gone? Yeah.
I've been traveling lighter with my illness, just knowing that I'm not the action figure and I can just accept what's happening in the moment.
Yes.
And not going horizontal with the thoughts, like obsessing and just being in the moment has given me a lot of relief traveling, a lot of traveling lighter.
There you go. I mean, yes, this thing it's practical because it's true. You don't have to fucking make it up. Yeah. It brings about a lightness that you couldn't manufacture. It doesn't come from here in this place. It comes from what we're of. Yes.
Right. And also I've been able to apply some of Ramesh's talk about the thinking mind versus the working mind. Like I'm able to, schedule an appointment to have surgery on Thursday, but not go into the thinking mind of the insanity and just accepting and, use the mind as a tool as opposed to being used by the mind.
Yes, of course. Yeah. There's a lot of ways you can put it. Just like a diamond has 30 different facets or 80. Yes. So it's based on, it's not so much the screen, it's the how the screen is located, then you see things. Yes. So with this, in self-centeredness, you're pegged to basically be fed one interpretation pretty much. Everything is seen as how it pertains to you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty myopic in a way. Yeah. So when you lose interest in that, things open up. Yeah. Yeah. And you'll find newfound abilities that were always available, but they weren't available to you, that you were taking yourself to be. Yeah. So you lose interest in that, and then these possibilities become possible. Yeah. Not for you, but really in spite of the you. Yes. Yeah. And it just tells you a lot. I mean, shit, it works.
Yeah. And it was brilliant. I also saw, Paul, how my mind had convinced me before I got into your non-duality approach. My mind had convinced me, hey, Matthew, don't worry. It's going to be you and me looking to become the Buddha, right? I got your back. We're on this journey together. And then I realized that the mind, that's the bullshit of the mind. That's the mental gymnastics that it does to stay self-centered, right? And that was freedom, tremendous freedom I got from your teaching.
Great.
So I'm grateful for that.
Well, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Matthew, and I'll see you soon. We'll be doing more Zoom. They'll be on the website while we're away.
Yeah, thanks. I'll say goodbye.
Yeah. Yes.
And Al had his hand up earlier. Al, do you still want to speak?
I knew
Well,
you
let's
would.
see. Al, I think Al had his hands up 3 weeks ago. Let's see. All right, Al.
I knew you were going to tell on me. I remember the smug, smirky feeling I got the day I decided that being out of my mind was a good thing. society had condemned, hey, he's out of his mind for a long time. And the day I achieved a moment of being out of my mind, you said to somebody today, I'm not going to say the name. Oh, you lost your mind. You used that phrase today. I was like, yeah, that was a good day. I remember the day I was out of my mind and found it very freeing. It was,
Yeah.
and to get over this compelling need. Look at Saint is smiling. To get over this compelling need to figure things out all the time. Everything needed a little nice bow, and I'm not good with unresolved issues. You remember when we got here and they said, hey, you can live with unresolved issues today. I'm like, what are you out of your mind? I can't live with unresolved issues. Everything must be resolved. TV, society in particular, the media taught me we're going to wrap this up in 2 hours. We're going to save the world, in fact, in 2 hours and 20 minutes, and everything will be right with the universe. And that's just not the way life is, man. It's just not the way it is. This was my goodbye share to you, my bon voyage. Have a lovely trip. That's why my hand was up. And I like being out of my mind. Thank you for reminding me. That's a good neighborhood for a guy like me.
Yes, bro. Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Al. It's always, I'm very happy we've met, and hope we can keep the relationship with the same amount of distance as it has right now. So let's.
Whatever you're comfortable with, it's fine by me. I'm not picky.
All right, Al. Thank you. Saina?
Oh, that was lovely. I don't see any more hands up, but if you want to ask Paul a question or just share, you can always activate your Zoom toolbar and hit reactions and then raise hand. We do have a few minutes left, so. All right, Shar. Take the mic, it's all yours.
I've been following you for 10 years, Paul. You didn't know it, but I've gotten to the point where it's just about playing. I don't give a flying shit anymore. If I just get out of this thing, self, whatever you call it, and go play in the fucking universe.
Yeah.
I can create and be anything I want at any given time, and just close my eyes and take me off of the planet. And even now in my dreams, I feel like I'm leaving my body. I'm having this fantastic experience. In the morning, upon awakening, I go, oh, I'm back. I wonder what's going to happen today, and go about my business. Things are just not that fucking important. It's just play. I'm lifing today. I'm accepting that I'm lifing. I'm not selfing. I'm not doing all this crap. Just anything that comes my way, am I going to love it? Am I going to feel yummy about it? If it feels icky, I'm gone. I want to feel good. And I have a great sponsor who made it so simple. It's like, if I feel yummy, I'm in alignment with this power source of the universe. If I feel yucky, my choice is to go back and feel yummy. How are you going to do that? Think something else. Squirrel. I have this power. I just don't know how to use it until I realize I could use it any fucking way I want. And I could just have fun with this movie. If I don't like the cast, you're out. This movie's closing down. We're going in a different direction. Who'd like to join? And nobody has to join at all. I can have it all going on in my head. And I give that whole credit thinking back when I was a little girl and pretending. It was so miraculous. And then I remember pretending and watching Looney Tunes as a kid. Every morning we'd watch Looney Tunes, and I believed that those characters could do what they were doing, and the anvil falls on the poor little thing, but it turns around and gets up and goes and starts something again. And that's what I'm doing. I'm just gonna go fucking start something again. It's just play. Not that, it's just, Anyway, that's all I had to say. I love you, Paul, and I loved watching you from afar all these years.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the pleasure of meeting you finally. Yes. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Well, let's start saying goodbye. We'll
Okay,
take a long time
that's
doing
fine.
it.
Yeah,
So-
take 10 minutes.
So Sina, I've had some time to think about how we're gonna reassign you. So we're gonna
Okay,
talk to you. We're gonna talk to you in 11 minutes
okay.
at 5:31.
What?
No, I'm joking with you, honey. Joking with you. Yeah, I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss you. The little awakening together on Tuesday.
Well, you'll be back after 3 weeks, right?
I hope so.
I hope so.
Yeah, I'm planning on, as far as I can tell. I may just end up in Italy forever. Who knows? Yeah,
You can still broadcast from there. This is Zoom, you know.
I know, but I know I'll just lose interest.
You don't know. You
The
haven't arrived at that
cappuccino,
moment
the
yet.
cappuccino, yes, whatever. But we'll see. No, we're probably gonna send the talks out to Italy, put them on YouTube. So they're gonna be a lot. All right. Thanks, honey, for all the service. Thank you and thank everyone for awakening together to putting up with us. Yeah. We got Stuart Oz. Yes. How are you, Stuart? All right.
Very
today?
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
very good. Very good. Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
Now,
Yeah. No questions.
oh, great.
Yeah.
I gotta see Paul H. How's Paul H doing there? Yeah.
Yeah. Doing good, sir. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Good.
Yeah. Where will we find those YouTubes in Italy? Where will we find the YouTubes in Italy?
Just go with my name or Zen Bitch Slap. Yeah.
Okay.
The retreat starts on the 14th, so we're supposed to do 2 talks a day for the 6 days. So we'll be putting them up. Yeah. So just go to the website. We'll have them some kind of message there. Zen Bitch Slap.
Cool. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. All right, we have, let's see, we've got George. He did not break his vow. I thought I had going, but there he is.
He
Carrie.
did for a
there he
second,
is.
remember?
Oh, he did. George.
Yeah, he let you know that I
Oh,
was.
all right.
I was Sana. I was Sana for a minute.
All right.
Yes, sometimes George admins for us and he helps out in that way. And so he was going to be my voice today.
Oh, all right. Good. Very good. I knew George had it in him. Yeah. We've got Kerry from Hawaii. I'll be seeing Kerry soon in Italy. Yes. Gonna be a trip. Rhoda, yes. Thank you for the reminder, Rhoda. Yes. Old time's sake. Yeah, we'll be, I'll see you when we, in October, eh?
Yeah, I'm sorry I'm not seeing you in Italy. One of my favorite places. Enjoy it though.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to rub anything in, so I'll just pass on that.
Okay, thanks, Paul. Appreciate that.
Move to the next person. Yeah, why? Why would I want to do that? Andy W, nice to see you, Andy. Nice background. Yes. We got Matthew. Feel better, my friend, physically, yeah? Take it easy. Shaw, she's out running wild, free range, running hither and thither. We've got Zoe B. We've got Susanna's, I think, phone.
Yes, hi, Paul. Thank
Hey,
you so much. Have a wonderful trip. I'm sorry I'm not going with you.
yes, well, maybe next time, eh?
Yes, hey, good. And maybe in California when you return.
Oh, yeah, come and see us, yes. Call me
Yeah,
up.
I'm in Southern California, so yeah, I would like that.
All right, great, yes. We got Shama, I think. We've got Donate Here, he's here, Al. We got Susan K, my latte lady. I'm gonna have to switch to cappuccinos, so they don't like you drinking latte, especially in the afternoon. Yeah, so. We got Laurie, we got Joey, we got Kim. I think that's it. Hey, listen, thank you. Nice to see everybody, and yeah, I'll see some of you soon on the Zooms. And again, go to the website under events. They should have what's going on. And we haven't put the Italian stuff up yet, but we'll come to some clarity when I get over there. All right, see you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Paul. Have a good time. See you,
Safe travel.
Santa. Thank you.